Hello again, this is maakudesuyo, and welcome to another episode of SLOG, where we talk about stories. Roll the opening intro that I still don't have. Alright, moving on. So everyone is still buzzing about with the Avengers Endgame release a couple of weeks ago. So you probably missed the trailers for this or didn't really care because you just wanted to know about Thanos and whatever the hell happened in Endgame. But Long Shot is a movie that just came out on May 3rd. It was directed by Jonathan Levine, starring Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. Now this will serve as the review/reaction slog for this movie. Now I'm actually really curious about your opinions, so please let me know what you guys thought of this movie. As for me, I actually really liked it. So let's go ahead and talk about why I liked it without giving away too much if you still haven't seen the movie. First, a quick premise of the movie, and this is written, by the way, by Dan Sterling and Liz Hannah. A journalist becomes the writer for the United States Secretary of State. Wow, that was a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Okay, moving on as to why I like this movie. First of all, I like the writing. Overall, I thought the writing was done pretty well. Great job, Dan Sterling and Liz Hannah. I thought the dialogue was believable and had some really funny lines. Now, some might say that this is a very raunchy movie, but I think it's because those people latch on to that part of the movie, even though they actually kind of make fun of a lot of things. Gender, race, although actually some of the characters who were played by actors of a specific race was ironically and in a good way not made fun of because of their specific race. That's good, I think. Drugs, politics, religious views, political views, they made fun of everybody. Now I think it's more of a slapstick comedy / situational type where they're not really trying to make you laugh with how witty their lines are. They're not trying to pump out punchline after punchline. Instead, it's more about what are these ironic and hilarious situations that we'll find our protagonists in. Now, of course, they sprinkle around some references from movies such as like The Avengers. Very quick line near the end of the movie, reference there that I found hilarious. Some people might be like, but it's still funny nonetheless to some people. And another thing that I liked was the acting. I thought that the casting was done really well. Overall, I thought everybody in this movie had a solid performance, from the leads to the supporting, all the way down to even the background and also the smaller feature roles. Seth Rogen did, I think, a really great job portraying Fred Flarsky, who is this strong-willed, opinionated journalist, but also somewhat a mess of a guy. Now, even though I enjoyed his antics, I thought that Charlize Theron was really the one who pulled him up to her level. The movie wouldn't really have worked out if they didn't have Charlize Theron in this movie. She did a fantastic job playing Charlotte Field, who is the Secretary of State, who's incredibly classy, intelligent, sexy, gorgeous woman who, she's just, you know? She really made me believe that she could be the Secretary of State. But at the same time, she was also believable when she would flip her character and she would do human things like eating food that are skewered. You'll get it if you watch the movie. And of course, she flexed her acting muscles during the emotional cry scenes. I honestly was pretty blown away by some small moments that I was like, wow, she knows how to act. Specifically, there was this one scene where she doesn't really talk, but then you can see in her eyes they're red, and then you can feel the emotion, the weight of the decision that she has to make. Yeah, see, I'm not trying to give out too much with this review. So yeah, I really thought that the matching of Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen makes you believe that their relationship really is a long shot, but at the same time, somehow there is that chemistry that oozes out as you watch the movie along. Now, something that I didn't like as much, although it didn't really bother me so much because I'm not super into it, but I think this will bother a lot of people, and that is the political satire. It's not too heavy on that, which is why I think this is more actually for general audiences, but if you are someone who is really into politics, politics buff or you enjoy heavy-handed political satire, you would be disappointed because I think a lot of the political satire here kind of falls short. I'm not super into politics, and yet there's still some references that I got and I kind of just chuckled, and I think some parts of it were not super politically accurate, but then what do I know? As I said, I'm not super into politics, right? Also, a little bit of the raunchiness in this, I think it wasn't super necessary, but at the same time, it kind of matches Seth Rogen, so it kind of does play out fine. But at the same time, I could understand why you wouldn't really want to be recommending this to everybody, because they'd be like, whoa, what do you watch? But again, I still don't believe this is an overall raunchy movie, but there were these slightly raunchy bits. So overall, I liked this movie a lot. I enjoyed the consistent presentation of situational comedy and jokes, but at the same time balancing it out with some heartwarming, emotional awesomeness from Charlize Theron. But I just want to mention that if you are going to be watching this with an inherent bias against male-led rom-com, you're probably going to fail to see that there is actually a significant level of feminism in this movie. I think this movie actually empowers two kinds of people, and one is the ugly comic relief type of a misfit guy, and it also empowers women in general. So I want you to have that in your mind when you go watch this movie. So overall, I suggest you give it a shot and watch this movie. Now if you go watch this movie and you liked it, please share this video with your friends. Tell them this is the awesome review that made me watch this awesome movie. Now if you absolutely hated this movie, please leave your hate comments down below. I would love to read it and like it, and also post on the social medias how you really hated me and how I really wasted your time by telling you to watch this incredibly boring or maybe misogynistic or racist or overall disgusting, sad movie, or whatever negative thing you thought about this movie. That would be super damaging to me. So please share it to the world how much you hate this review. Anyways, I shall see you guys on the next one. Johnny, bye.